Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herold here on Badlands Media. I'm your host, Burt Reynolds, and I hope you all are having just a wonderful new year. My year is off to a great start. I've been working, which is, I see I'm featured on Rumble, which is cool. You know, Rumble features quite a few Badlands shows, but typically not until like the evening when all the other hosts are in bed. Like, yeah, we'll give you some table scraps. And now that they're all celebrating the holidays with their families, and I'm working, now I get these table scraps. But it's very cool, very awesome. If you guys are new to the show, I do this show every single weekday from noon Central, 1 Eastern to 2. What else should I tell the people, the new folks, the new watchers? Typically, my goal on these shows is to go through the headlines, make fun of them, make fun of people, make fun of myself. I mean, got to do that too. And then if you are leaving the show feeling optimistic or confirmed in your biases, then I did not do my job. You'll probably get angry. You'll probably disagree with me, and that's okay. We can all still be friends afterwards. It's nice to have friends in the gulags sometimes. Yeah, I don't typically wear a mustache, so you guys are catching me. You guys are in for a treat. Typically, I have a beard. But every year for New Year's Eve, we do a New Year's Eve stream here on Badlands, and I shave in a mustache, mainly for the ladies. But anyway, need to grow that out to be a handlebar. I should. Got some work to do, but I probably won't. I'll probably just, give it a day or two, shave this thing off, and let it grow back. I do try to engage with the chat quite a bit. So if you guys want to hop in and say hi, you have a great chat group, and they will welcome you kindly, unless you're being retarded. Then they'll call you retarded and not be kind to you. But let's get a quick word from our sponsors, and then got a few news stories. A bombing of another ship or tugboat or whatever. Oh, Chief Justice Roberts put out his end of the year report for SCOTUS. I didn't even know they did that. And I just want to read through a couple pieces of what he wrote in like the little, I don't know, what do you call that? I wanted to say epilogue, but that's not right. That can't be right. Where is this thing? Where'd I put it? I just got to find where I put it, and then we can read through it. Oh, here it is. I don't know, the introduction for it, but it's like a 6-page introduction. I have just a few things highlighted. Before we do any of that, quick word from the sponsors of today's show. And first up, we have, who do we got today? Oh, we got Benson Honey Farms. Do I have their thing in here? I do. There we go. Welcome to Benson Honey Farms, where every jar is pure gold. Benson's Honey is excited to be back in the Badlands Media Mix with their latest 2025 honey harvest. It's for the year 2026, though. Straight from their farm in Nebraska. While they've been busy working to improve their state politics from the ground up, they never forgot the importance of sharing the best honey around. Did you know honey isn't just a sweet treat? It's nature's medicine, perfect for alleviating allergies, soothing upset stomachs, or as a delicious natural sweetener for baking. Benson Honey is never heated, ensuring you receive it in its pure, raw form, full of natural goodness. At Benson Honey Farms, quality and purity is top priority. They're committed to providing the finest honey from hive to home. Join the supportive community and enjoy a special offer. Visit badlandsmedia.tv/honey. Use promo code Badlands for 15% off your purchase. Benson Honey Farms. Savor the authentic taste of Nebraska. Support this America First business. You can follow them on Facebook at Benson Honey Farms. Kilted Trucker, what do your kids think of the stash? I don't know. They don't, I don't think they really care. I think it's funny. I think it's more funny because my girlfriend Cece does not like it. She's not a huge fan. Ash is also not a huge fan. Has anyone told John that his stash isn't symmetric? See, are they supposed to be symmetric? I feel like if you're wearing a mustache, ironically, which I kind of am, I feel like it should look like you tried to make it good, but it really shouldn't be good. You know what I mean? I feel like that's more authentic as somebody who doesn't wear a mustache daily. It's weird looking. Well, yeah, of course. Of course it is. You guys just aren't used to it. And I can't like play with my beard anymore. I can't play with my hairs and my beard. But anyway, it's okay. You guys get through this. It won't be long. By the end of next week, I'll be back to my beard again. So just stay tuned. Our next sponsor of today's show is Conscious Strength. Our good buddy Jordan Sather. Maha yourself with supplements that do not suck from Conscious Strength. Founded by Badlands' very own Jordan Sather in 2019, Conscious Strength products are made in America and won't break your bank, unlike other online brands. The lineup includes collagen for strengthening joints and hair, electrolytes to get rid of those cramps, greens powders that taste good and mixes easy, Shilajit gummies. I hate that word, Shilajit. Methylene blue, zeolite, and more. Flip the finger to pharma, be your own doctor, and get supplements that you can trust from Conscious Strength. Go to badlandsmedia.tv/strength to shop now. One more time, that's badlandsmedia.tv/strength. The link will be in the description of this video. You know, yesterday we did our New Year's Eve stream, and I kept trying to and this is kind of the beauty of Badlands. We can never stick to this is what we want to talk about tonight. This is what we should do. It's a New Year's Eve stream. Let's talk about 2025. Let's move forward then into 2026. And what do we think? What do we want? What are our expectations? What are our resolutions? And last night we just talked about racism and gender shit and the Jews. But it was a great time. And then I tuned out. I know they were live after. Maybe they did talk about that stuff after I left. But, you know, I'll give my thoughts on 2025 and, you know, kind of what my expectations are going into 2026 here briefly. 2025 was an interesting one. Badlands, you know, we went through some BS. Personally, I've gone through some BS still in that lawsuit. That's one of the things I'm hoping to get resolved by this year. That's so dumb. Jon's mustache is racist. I heard it on CNN. That's not true. I doubt CNN would cover that. But if they did cover it, it's fake news. In terms of the awakening and what's going on geopolitically and financially, everything like that, also a weird year. I would call it retarded. Stupid. So many people had so many expectations, and you're trying to move the goalposts now. I get it. But if we're being honest with ourselves, and this is me included, even somebody who I feel like the whole year we've been pretty consistent about complaining about the things that deserve complaining and talking about the things that, well, you know, we did our best to stay on signal. We're not always going to be right. But we do our best. We're not doing anything dishonestly. We're not trying to push an agenda. We're just trying to figure this shit out, just like you guys. But going into this year with Trump, you know, getting inaugurated January 20th, there were very high expectations for what Trump was going to do. He didn't have to worry about future elections. He didn't have to worry about anything. Just get in there and do the things you campaigned on. And I would argue that while the table is set for many great things, this first year did not live up to, I would say, the consensus expectations of what the first term of Trump, or the first year of the second Trump term, would be. And if any of you are like, oh yeah, I totally knew it was going to be like this, you're lying. You're lying. There are still evil forces within Trump's administration, Trump's government. I mean, I'm not going to call out. I don't know who they are. Trump does. Trump isn't stupid. But things have not gone 100% the way I thought they would. But that's okay. We are going to flip the bird to 2025 and go into 2026 with no expectations. That's what I'm doing. No expectations in terms of any of this stuff. Take it as we come. If you're going to fight in the info war and defend yourself against the psyops and defend yourself from blackpilling, which I think is probably the most important thing, you can't have expectations. You can be hopeful. You can, you know, be optimistic, but you can do that without expectations. What was the book was called Great Expectations, right? Yeah, oh man, I should have that meme in here. Let me find my temper expectations meme. There we go. Monica CM, Trump's first term has exceeded expectations. I mean, if you have that opinion, that's great. Then your expectations were good to begin with. I'm just saying for most people, from what I've seen throughout the year, it wasn't what they expected. I think it's a good thing. There are more people upset about something related to the government or the direction this country is going or whatever. There are more people upset and talking about that stuff than ever before, which I think is the point. There are more people talking about foreign involvement in our politics, whether it's lobbying or them buying off politicians directly or whatever. There's more people talking about that issue than ever before. There's more people talking about the debt than ever before. There's more people talking about like a tax revolt right now than ever before, at least as far as I've been involved in this, like 4 years. And that's good. We need more. We need to continue. When things are good, people get placated. That's what got us into this problem in the first place. And I think like getting lulled back into everything's good, lulled back into comfort, I don't think that's a good place to be in. Not with the threat that's still out there. So that's where I'm at. 2026, my expectations are at zero, completely tempered. Not going to get over emotional at anything. I'm going to put a resolution out there for Rumble, and Rumble's going to feature me every day. That's Rumble's New Year's resolution. Set the bar low enough and you'll always be happy. Yeah. Motto for 2026, fuck the IRS. I like that. I agree with that. If you think the government isn't big enough, you might be a leftard. But yeah, let's start plugging away at what we got. I thought this was weird. The last week I've been going through what our debt's at. Oh, let me switch to this one. And it won't load for me today. Like all day. Yesterday we were at what, 36 trillion? Today this thing won't even load. I guess it's the same number as yesterday. No, yesterday was the last one. So I think it was, what was it, 38 trillion something? Almost 40 trillion. We're getting there, guys. No update on the Doge website. Bitcoin right now is at a little over 88,000. So if you bought yesterday, you are up. And I think all of this is a buying opportunity. I think anything under 100K, probably anything under 20K is a buying opportunity. But this is not financial advice. So do your own research on it. Silver and gold are back down a little bit. I guess the flat line, they aren't going to update it today. Makes sense. But down from like the highs of 78 that we had earlier this week. Just a couple new things on the presidential website. Amendments to adjust the imports of timber and lumber. This is like the 10th time we've seen that on the website. Trump administration did say that all 50 states will be receiving historic funding from the Trump administration to strengthen rural healthcare. And while I think healthcare is probably an important thing, I do not like any of our tax dollars being spent anywhere. So I am not in favor of that. There was this nice little, I missed this the other day on December 26th. I'm not going to read through it now, but I'll put it in the chat if you guys get bored later and want to go and read it. This America 250 anniversary of the Battle of the Trenton. I thought it was pretty good read. So worthwhile. And they did spell freedom had wrong. This is the second misspelling I found on the presidential website in like 3 days. They did fix the other one though. The other one, it was they spelled it agreement. I think they fixed it. Yeah, they did. They spelled where it says agreement here, they had an N instead of an M. But now they fixed it. Probably because I told them on Twitter, of course. Let's talk real quick about no, I'll come back around to that. We're going to talk about this first. The 2025 year-end report on the federal judiciary. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I am not not big fans. I think our government has been completely perverted. Like what the founders intended is not the government that we have right now. And in this report, like in this letter that he's writing, he's going back and talking about the founders. And then he's like, and we lived up to all these ideals. And he throws in some sprinkles in some racism stuff, like, we need to defeat racism, some DEI stuff. It's pretty dumb. But I do not agree with him in his assessment that they have lived up to what the founders intended. And we'll go through this. There's some decent stuff I want to read. And we'll talk about it. If you guys have any thoughts on it, you can let me know. Again, this is the year-end report from Chief Justice John Roberts on the judiciary. And they go through some stats at the end, too, we can maybe look at. But I don't want to spend the whole show just on this. Anyway, it starts off talking about, 250 years ago, the founding of the country, and then the Declaration of Independence and how the documents came to be. Right here, he's talking about Thomas Paine. Alongside the articles Paine wrote and edited in his day job, he began work in late 1775 on the larger Plain Truths Project with the encouragement of Dr. Franklin and a prominent physician named Benjamin Rush. Paine crafted and refined his work through the end of the year, too long for a broadsheet and too short for a book. The final product would be published anonymously on January 10th, 1776. It was the pamphlet called Common Sense, which I think is worth reading. Says how he wrote it for ordinary citizens. He advanced several key points. A government's purpose is to serve the people. Do you guys think the government that we have right now, looking back at 2026, reflecting on this last year, do you think the government served the people? The colonists should view themselves as a distinctive people, Americans, not British subjects. We are not British. We still are not British, so we've lived up to that part, at least, so far. The colonies had reached the peculiar time, which never happens to a nation but once, the time of forming itself into a government. And in view of the foregoing propositions, as an independent nation, the colonists would have it in our power to begin the world over again. I may disagree with the once thing. Because if you have to throw, what they did is they threw the British government off their backs and created their own here. I guess so technically we can't create another government. It's the first time we've ever had a government here in America. But if we ever had to start fresh, would that count? But I'm not here to nitpick. Are you sure, John? What am I sure about? We're gonna make John Thune do his job. That's our resolution for this year. If we just end the filibuster, we'll fix the country. So dumb. That mindset just doesn't work for me. Prior to its publication, a clear consensus to separate from England had not yet formed, despite 8 months of open, though isolated, armed conflict. However, by April 1st, no less an authority than George Washington proclaimed that Paine's small treatise is working a powerful change there in the minds of many men. Later that same month, a writer from Boston observed that common sense, like a ray of revelation, has come unseasonably to clear our doubts and to fix our choice. And I like this part just because, this was back then. There was no social media. It was a pamphlet they had to circulate in the colonies. And yet, what he wrote made a huge impact. Him putting his voice out there, his opinions, his thoughts out there, and getting them to other people, circulating those opinions to other people, essentially kicked off the revolution. This is like the earliest forms of narrative warfare. It's a battle for the mind. This is the first and most important thing you need is the consensus of the people to do anything, the mandate. If you don't actually have the mandate of the people to do what you're doing, then that is an actual dictatorship. It's not a democracy. It's not a constitutional republic. It's all been so warped. And that's where we're at right now. I think Trump has the consensus, regardless of what the poll says or any of that. But Congress, they don't have the mandate of the people. None of these people have any sort of mandate, considering how fraudulent our elections are. But just look at what Congress is polling at right now. Not that polls are real either, but it's terrible. Nobody agrees with anything these people are doing. They don't have the mandate or the consensus. But anyway, the whole reason I'm talking about this is I thought it was interesting how he's framing this as they were stuck. They were stuck under the rule of England, and Thomas Paine wrote a pamphlet and changed everybody's minds. We have that same power, guys. We just need to start writing pamphlets. That's all we got to do. We can save the country. To the brave patriots who crafted and approved the definitive statement of American independence, pledged to support each other and their new nation with our lives and fortunes and our sacred honor. They understood that the British would view their words and actions as treason. Thought they would. As Franklin reportedly warned, we must indeed all hang together, or most assuredly, we shall all hang separately. That's what I'm saying, guys. We're either going to end up on the other side of this in a great place, or we're going to have great seats next to each other in the gulags, and that's okay too sometimes. A quarter of a millennium later, the Declaration of Independence stands as one of the most widely read and emulated political documents in history. Its preamble articulates the theory of American government in a single passage that has been hailed as the greatest sentence ever crafted by human hand. I feel like whoever had that quote, which looks like W. Isaacson, the greatest sentence ever written, probably has not read my Devolution series because I have lots of great sentences in there. Some of them arguably great. I've had a few people tell me some of the greatest sentences of all time, and most people would agree with it. So I think I have to contest this point that he just made there. But it is a good sentence. I'll read it to you. The sentence, likely the principal work of Jefferson, with light edits from Franklin and Adams, proclaims, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Again, Chief Justice Roberts, you can probably see where he's going with this. He's like, this is what our founders said. This is what they did. This is what these documents did, and these are the values and principles we stand for, and the judiciary has defended them very good this year. We are on the nice list. Yeah, okay, asshole. Did Bernie Bright write them for you? No. He may have edited an article. I've had a few editors over the years. Just like, hey, man, I'm done with this. Can you give it an edit? That type of thing. Anyway, let's keep going here. Yeah, if you open the United States Code today, you'll find the full text of the Declaration of Independence on the first pages of the Organic Laws of the United States of America, followed by the Articles of Confederation, the Northwest Ordinance of 1787, and the Constitution. Despite that placement, the Declaration is not typically regarded as being among the general and permanent laws of the United States, as codified in 1925. That's weird. Isn't that a little weird? We codified stuff in 1925? What about the original documents? Rather, Congress included the Declaration and the other seminal documents referenced above in a list of materials ancillary to the general and permanent laws. And he talks about, it may come as a surprise, Justice Scalia said Declaration consists of aspirations and philosophizing. For a practical and pragmatic charter of government, Americans must turn to the Constitution. The connection between these two foundational documents cannot be clearer when it comes to the judicial branch. The Declaration charged that George III has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries. The Constitution corrected this flaw, granting life tenure and salary protection to safeguard the independence of the federal judges and ensure their ability to serve as a counter-majoritarian check on the political branches. This arrangement, now in place for 236 years, has served our country well. And boy, do I disagree with this paragraph. He does, he's right. The Declaration did charge that George has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices, the amount and payment of their salaries. That's no difference than what happens now. I mean, the judiciary is so unobjective. It's so political. And we've seen nothing but that over these last few. Look at all the rogue judges across the country that have tried to stonewall every single thing Trump has done this year. The balls of Chief Justice Roberts, like, writing this paragraph is kind of funny. I didn't think he had balls, but he has some micro balls apparently. Not that I was assuming his gender or anything. But look at, like, this is not at all what we see now. And I don't think lifetime appointments to any of this stuff. I mean, I get why they do it, but it's clearly not working. So is that really the answer? But I've never believed in term limits either. I think if you have, like, legitimate elections that are not fraudulent, you don't need to put term limits on Congress or the president or any of this stuff. if you can actually reflect the consensus and mandate of the people in who gets put into office all over the country, if you can actually reflect that in a true and meaningful way, you don't need term limits. There will be people who suck, reveal themselves to suck or be bought off or whatever, then they will actually get voted out if that's what the system is. And it won't matter. And if there are people that'll be good who may make a career of it. And if they're good and the people want them, fine. As long as they have the mandate and the consensus of the people. And this is all speaking of a system where, as Chris Paul would say, brilliantly so, like maybe if this isn't working, and this is paraphrasing, so not an exact quote, but at what point do we like get rid of the government we have now and just replace it with nothing? I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's a great question. The Declaration of Independence was then and remains today a statement of national aspirations, not a codification of enforceable legal obligations. Yet throughout our history, it has played a signal role in the development of the nation's constitutional, statutory, and common law. Signal there threw me off a little bit. I believe in age. John Selfing and gay brother, so retarded normally see it. It's not for us, bro. I think 2026 is the year, just like 2025 was, that I disagree with you about this all just being for the normies. If we're just waiting for the normies, we are going to be waiting for eternity. Give me advice. What advice do you need? A lot of people, what I do, this platform, tell me. Who is this guy? I am new to this platform. What do I do? Who is this guy? Fake dickhead, fake dem chat. Well, nice. We got some trolls. No mods though. You need to get off Rumble. You shouldn't have a job on Rumble. Oh man. I don't know why you hate me so much, but I welcome you to spend the rest of your New Year's watching Badlands, man. Good for you. Perhaps the finest explanation for the Declaration's continuing influence comes from one of our greatest presidents, Abraham Lincoln. How dare you invoke Abraham Lincoln in front of me? Speaking shortly after the Supreme Court handed down its infamous decision in the Dred Scott case, Lincoln noted that the assertion that all men are created equal was placed in the Declaration for future use. Anyway, the framers, Lincoln added, did not intend to declare all men equal in all respects. Rather, they defined with tolerable distinctness in what respects they did consider all men created equal, namely, in regard to those unalienable rights. In short, they meant simply to declare the right so that the enforcement of it might follow as fast as circumstances should permit. So if he's right about all that, and I think I would agree with the principle of that, is that what we have now? Do you think that, do you think the government is protecting our rights as the founders intended? Do you think the founders intended for Somalians to get like billions of our dollars for fake daycares? I have a story about that here a little bit too. Trolls will be trolls. I wonder, like, do they think when you troll? I'm asking you trolls right now. When you come into the chat and be like, "I hate you. You need to get off Rumble." Has it ever worked that like the person does what you want them to do? Has that literally ever worked? I'm just curious. A lot of people saying no. I'm assuming to my question. I don't remember what my question was. Let's finish this up here. These national accomplishments illustrate that the responsibilities for living up to the promises of the Declaration rest on all three branches of our government, as well as on each successive generation of Americans. This is so inspiring. Those of us in the third branch must continue to decide the cases before us according to our oath, doing equal right to the poor and to the rich, and performing all of our duties faithfully and impartially under the Constitution and laws of the United States. Do you, again, the ball's on this guy. They just had a Supreme Court ruling that came out like 2 weeks ago The Chicago one, the National Guard in Chicago. The Supreme Court brought up an issue that the two parties agreed to was like not important in the lower courts. They brought it back up, asked them to define it. They both wrote supplemental briefs. The plaintiffs agreed with what the Supreme Court wanted them to agree with, and then they declined the case or stayed it or whatever, or declined to stay. I don't remember. They ruled against the Trump administration on an issue that wasn't even part of the original case. Like it wasn't at issue in front of the court. They made it an issue and then ruled on that. But they did it super impartially, though. They're totally performing their duties faithfully. We have not seen any semblance of impartiality in the judiciary, probably ever. And maybe that's too broad of a term, but I can't think of like actual impartial judges. Do you guys? And maybe all the bullshit non-impartiality that we get stems from like the two-party system we have. It's very much the controlled opposition dynamic, right? It's part of the problem. If we get rid of that, do we get rid of some of this impartiality bullshit? Probably not. John ends the stream early while his stash stays to read the rants. No, when I leave, my stash leaves with me. I can't leave this thing unsupervised. Are you kidding me? Let me read this last sentence here, and then we'll move on. As we approach the semi-quincentennial, that was a tough word. You guys should be proud that I read that correctly. I think I read it correctly. As we approach that big word of our nation's birth, it is worth recalling the words of President Calvin Coolidge, spoken a century ago on the occasion of America's, oh gosh, another big one, sesquicentennial. Amid all the clash of conflicting interests, amid all the welter of partisan politics, every American can turn for solace and consolation to the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States with the assurance and confidence that those two great charters of freedom and justice remain firm and unshaken. True then, true now. And I call bullshit. What we have now is not what the founders intended. Yet we defend it as if it is, and that's a psyop. The politicians themselves and their mainstream media handlers want us defending something as if it was what the founders wanted, when it's nothing of the sorts. If what we had now, if the founders were alive today, they would probably be doing another 1776 right now to throw off this existing government off our backs. Not that I'm advocating for any form of violence or any of that stuff. I do not have all the answers, and I don't know what the answer is to get to that next stage or next step or whatever it is to fix things. But it's not violence. Don't arrest me. Anyway, this is all I had in here. And we could go through stats. Like they had less Supreme Court cases argued by term. They had less, what else? Regional court filings. Just less stuff in the courts, allegedly, except for total. The federal courts docketed 303,000 civil cases, which is an increase of 4%. Oh man, there's one. Where's it at? I guess everything's more. I read this wrong. More than last year, up from 4 years ago. Or I'm retarded right now. More than last year, down from 4 years ago. But anyway, we're going to move on. And real quick, before I move on, let's get a quick word from our final sponsor of today's show. And the whole reason that I even actually shaved my beard at all was because I wanted to prove that soft disclosure beard oil can double as a mustache oil. And I got to get the ad in my video here. But this stuff is amazing, guys. The beard oil, I am absolutely in love with it. I have a great commercial for it. The lotion, it's the best lotion you'll ever have. The deodorant, fantastic. Lasts you forever. I'm still on, I got 2 bars of deodorant, the mint and the, I think it's lemon grapefruit or whatever, in August at our GART, our conference. Still using them right now. They haven't fully run out yet. That was August. That's like 4 months ago. I've been using those things since last year. They're still with me. It's crazy. And I'll play this beard oil ad whenever it populates. I like the tallow stick as a lip balm as well for my skin. Yep. Mustache is ridiculous. It will take over now. You'll no longer be in control. Well, I haven't let it get that big, but okay, here we go. Softdisclosure.com.
Get you some of that beard oil.
Now that I'm alone, got the close up. Do you see how awesome my beard looks right now?
I use the beard oil every single day. First thing. Comes out feeling all silky smooth. I take the dropper and I manually apply the oil directly to my mustache. Nice and, oh man, I love it. And then I do drops all throughout the hair, and then I just rub it all in. And then I top it off with the tallow stick on the face.
Dude, I feel like I have to grow a beard just to try this beard oil. It sounds
Do it, Jay.
amazing.
It's all from softdisclosure.com, and the best part about it is you will be supporting Badlands Media, Annie from Willow and Farms, and basically 3 of Annie's neighbors. So that's 5 total American companies that you'd be supporting with one purchase.
I have been using the Soft Disclosure scentless beard oil every day after the shower. It looks unkempt, but it feels silky smooth. I want to look a little wild and unapproachable, but for the woman I trust, she'll be like, oh, it's actually kind of soft. He is approachable after all. Otherwise, stay away. And Soft Disclosure will help you too with that if that's the very specific vibe you're going for.
That is very specific, yes.
You guys are supporting American businesses when you do that. It's absolutely incredible, and you get a great, great product.
That's really funny in the chat. You think you know a guy, then he shaves his beard. Then it's like, I don't know that guy at all. Who is that? That is how it be sometimes. But let's. I want to show you a story. This is a story from June. Okay, so it's a while ago, but I think it's pretty relevant to what we're seeing right now. This is from the Star Tribune, the Minneapolis newspaper. Again, June 11th of 2025. Hundreds had ties to feeding our future. Many may not face charges. Lead prosecutor in expansive theft case says we don't have the resources. I wonder what happened to the resource. Like, what has been happening to our country's resources that we don't even have enough to prosecute the people stealing our resources? That's like a chicken or the egg type thing. What came first? The lack of resources to prosecute those stealing resources, or the stealing resources from those who don't have the resources to prosecute those stealing resources? Anyway, dozens of people, perhaps hundreds, linked to a sprawling child nutrition fraud case will never face criminal charges. Why federal prosecutors don't have the resources to go after every organization and person that participated in the program. The case, commonly referred to as Feeding Our Future, the name of a nonprofit at the center of the fraud, has resulted in charges against 72 people. That's just a portion of the hundreds of people prosecutors say claim to serve huge numbers of meals in federal child nutrition programs during the COVID-19 pandemic. Like, this is the fraud in Minnesota. I think it's connected to Somalians too. Doesn't directly say in this article, but they're saying like, we're not going to be able to go after that. And this is in addition to, like, we just got daycare fraud. We have Medicare fraud. It's not just Minnesota, it's everywhere. And this is an issue that we've been harping on, and a lot of people are harping on it. It's the lack of accountability and justice that we need in this country. And the question is, if we're not going to get first of all, we pay these taxes at gunpoint, and we can't trust that it's like they're being fiscally responsible with our money. Then on top of that, the other departments who are getting taxpayer dollars to stop crime can't even do anything about it. From June, guys, June of 2025. About a fraud in Minnesota, likely Somalian in nature. This isn't even talking about the current stuff. And so when you see the FBI and DOJ coming out and being like, oh, we've already arrested 90 people in connection to Minnesota fraud or whatever, they're talking about this. I had a point I was going to make there, but I don't remember what it was. Oh yeah, the justice and accountability we're getting it's almost like a red herring. Like, everybody's super concerned about this now. It's the viral topic. Everybody's talking about the fraud, That's what I said, I think, yesterday. And so they're all grifting off it. The DOJ, the FBI, they're all investigating it super serious, super hard. Comer wants to bring in, was it Tim Walz or whatever, to sit down in front of the oversight committee. They really care about our the taxpayers now. They certainly don't want us to be defrauded anymore. And they're going to give us the accountability and justice we deserve. Yet the people actually doing that don't even have the resources to prosecute stuff from 6 months ago before we even knew about this daycare fraud. It's crazy. Big fire took place at a Swiss ski resort bar. About 40 people are dead, 115 injured. NYC Mayor Zoran Mondami was publicly sworn in as the New York City mayor. I think my siblings are here. Having family over today. I'll text my girlfriend here quick. Yeah, having family over as soon as the show's over. And some of them arrived early. So, but yeah, Mondami got sworn in as mayor. So congratulations, New York. I'm sure you guys will enjoy. This is where I got that story of the new judicial independence report. So stupid. I don't know if I really want to talk about this. I don't know if I care. Oysters, crab, and $400,000 worth of lobster meat stolen in New England. That's a lot of lobster meat, isn't it? And can I say, lobster is not bad, but does anybody else feel like it's a little overrated? I feel like it's a little overrated. Yeah, I'm not going to read that story. I didn't even archive it. The U.S. military has struck in 3 more alleged drug boats. Like how they call them alleged drug boats. Killing 3 and possibly leaving survivors. Well, so this is stupid. Just like a month ago, you guys got mad at them for not leaving survivors. And now the way you're framing this, are you mad that they did leave survivors? The U.S. Southern Command did not reveal where Tuesday's attacks occurred, but said the Coast Guard was activated for a search and rescue operation. Okay, so let's think fiscally responsible right now. We know these are drug runners. This is kind of the argument that we've had over that one drug boat where they had to shoot it twice. What is more cost effective? Is it more cost effective to just ensure there are no survivors in the first place? Or do we need to activate a Coast Guard search for the people so that we can bring them home, imprison them, feed them, all these things, whatever, put them through the court system? What is the more fiscally responsible move? Just curious. I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me. But I have a guess. And it's probably not letting them survive the initial explosion. Barely overrated. Lobster, the catfish of the sea. It's a trash fish. Tasty, but it's a bottom feeder. You obviously only had the frozen crab at Red Lobster. No, I was in Baltimore. Or did I have... I don't eat at Red Lobster. I think I've only had lobster a few times. So I may be speaking from ignorance here, but I like to do that, especially when I know I can probably rile up some people who are super defensive of lobster and how it tastes. Now that I know there are a few of you, I'm probably going to make it a life mission of mine to make sure that I convince everybody that lobster is not tasty, or at least the taste is overrated. I'm not saying it's not tasty. That's the thing. I'm not even saying it's not tasty. I'm saying it's overrated. I like catfish side. Blackened catfish is delicious. Have you guys ever tried chicken tendies? So good. Jack Smith says that Cassidy Hutchinson offered hearsay, not a strong witness against President Trump. In a closed-door deposition on December 17th, Smith said Hutchinson lacked firsthand knowledge on key claims she presented during the committee's televised hearings in January 2022, making her testimony less persuasive and potentially inadmissible. Do you remember the June 2022 hearings that she did? She had given written testimony to the committee, the J6 committee, I want to say 2 times. And then the third time came immediately after a phone call, which is there's a record of it that had happened. And I think even Liz Cheney admitted to this. It was either Liz Cheney or Cassie. I don't remember which one. But those two had a phone call with each other, after which Cassidy Hutchinson was convinced to like change her testimony. She filed an errata, I think, or something. I think that's what they called it. And all of a sudden she had all this like super damning parts of her story. And then she went on to testify the very next day. Like they had the phone call at night. She filed this little errata of all these different things. And then the next morning she was in there testifying in front of the committee, telling all these super big stories that all the mainstream media ran with. Like, Trump tried to strangle a driver of the limousine. Like, seriously? Yeah, seriously. But I wonder is this, I thought this was behind closed doors. It's a closed door hearing. How are they getting stuff out of the door? How do we know what's in here? Oh, there's a transcript of it. I did not know. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, what should we do? What should we search for? Search for my last name quick, see if I'm in mentioned. Okay, I'm not in here. Whew. Maybe Patel. Angel, that I failed to ask about was whether you interviewed director Kash Patel as part of your investigation. Can't get into that. Can't get into that. Okay, what about Miller? Chris Miller? I think he goes by Christopher or Chris in this, if he's mentioned. No, he's not in here. John, they aired the whole Jack Smith hearing yesterday. Well, yesterday was New Year's Eve, bro. I was distracted. I can't believe I missed all this, though. Yes, Cheney tampered with a witness. That is the consensus that I formed myself. We'll move on. I'll come back. I'll read that some other time. I won't bore you with it by doing it live. And I only have a few minutes left before I got to get out of here and go host and entertain. House Oversight Republicans set hearings, press Walz administration over Minnesota fraud. I think, I covered this yesterday, right? It's like, yeah, cool. You guys are going to, you being the power of the purse would be cool if you actually like used it to not spend our damn money. Never should have happened in the first place. Whoops. Let's see if there's any financial news I wanted to discuss. Bernie Sanders and Ron DeSantis speak out against data center boom. It's a bad sign for the AI industry. They're pushing back against the AI industry from opposite ends of the political spectrum. Rising electricity costs and risks to grid stability are stoking voter anger. The AI industry's growth plans could be at risk as opposition mounts ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. Everything's about the midterms. Do you guys actually like have those concerns though? I guess I don't super pay attention close to what my that was a retarded way to say that. I don't super pay attention close. I don't closely pay attention to my electric bill because it like varies, it fluctuates. And I basically have a supercomputer right here that I'm streaming from. And it's going to be high, but like, are you guys noticing rising electricity costs across the country? Man, this is probably the worst stream I've had this year with all my misspeakings. But if you guys notice that, let me know in the chat. Appreciate it. Because like, is that an issue that you're already like, oh my gosh, these prices are so high, I can never in good conscience vote for the Republicans during the midterms? I just feel like that's probably a bullshit story. There's a few AI stories out there on CNBC. I didn't really care to read this one, but I had them pulled up. Skip that. Do you have any good Trump posts? Oh yeah, we do have a couple good things from Trump here. Good news. This is from Donald Trump. This was yesterday afternoon. George and Amal Clooney, two of the worst political prognosticators of all time, have officially become citizens of France, which is sadly in the midst of a major crime problem because of their absolutely horrendous handling of immigration, much like we had under Sleepy Joe Biden. Remember when Clooney, after the now infamous debate, dumped Joe during a fundraiser, only to go onto the side of another stellar candidate, Jamala. Okay. What? I don't, do you guys, is this, what is this? Has he ever done that before? I don't think so. I need a decode. Stat. Somebody decode it for me. Let me know. Oh, no, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, here we go. Who is now fighting it out with the worst governor in the country, including Tim Walz, Gavin Newsom, for who is going to lead the Democrats to their future defeat. You know, I got to say something. That was that was 2 sentences. Like everything I've read so far is 2 sentences, super long. Some of the times when I read, especially Trump's posts, it is not my fault that I sound retarded, like I can't read. It's the grammar and the sentence structure of some of these things they're difficult. They're challenging. They're challenging. And I do like challenges, but I'm just saying it's not all my fault. Clooney got more publicity. See that right there? Saying almost publicity instead of publicity. That was my fault. Clooney got more publicity for politics than he did for his very few and totally mediocre movies. He wasn't a movie star at all. He was just an average guy who complained constantly about common sense and politics. Make America great again. All that to say, the moral of the story is that they've become citizens of France, dual citizens, which I think we should get rid of dual citizenship. I think it's stupid. Not just for elected representatives, but I think for everybody. You either want to be a citizen of this country, this should be your one true country, or it's not. You whole ass one thing instead of half ass 2 things, including your citizenship. I feel that could go on a shirt or a bumper sticker, I think, if it's not already. They are removing, this is an interesting move. They're removing the National Guard from Chicago, Los Angeles, and Portland, despite the fact that crime has been greatly reduced by having these great patriots in those cities. And only by that fact, Portland, Los Angeles, and Chicago were gone if it weren't for the federal government stepping in. We will come back, perhaps in a much different and stronger form, when crime begins to soar again, only a question of time. It is hard to believe that these Democrat mayors and governors, all of whom are greatly incompetent, would want us to leave, especially considering the great progress that has been made. President DJT. Come back with this, just the army, straight up army. That's what he's going to do. Looking forward to that, though. Looking forward to it. And if you're still living in these blue cities, I would highly encourage you to leave. This is not location advice, but I wouldn't want to live there. Can't imagine you'd want to live there. Get your family, get your friends, go somewhere cheaper. Come to North Dakota. North Dakota's awesome. It's beautiful. It's snowy. It's a winter wonderland right now. And the summers are awesome too. And we could be neighbors. A family of 4 could double the population in North Dakota, just like that. There's this. The Democrats are a bunch of cheaters and thieves that never want to do what's good for America. I mean, I agree they are that, but I also disagree. Like, this has fallen short a little bit because it's not just Democrats. It's the uniparty. It's the Democrats and the Republicans. Controlled oppo dynamic. As an example, they refuse to even consider voter identification. Why? Because they want to cheat. The Republicans should not put up with this and many other such things any longer. End the filibuster and we will save the world. Republicans, no more money to fat cat insurance companies. I said flat cat, and I was trying to think of something funny I could spin that into, but can't. Nothing really funny about a flat cat. Anyway, the money must go directly to the people to buy their own health care. President Donald Trump, that's a great idea. You know, we could just eliminate taxes altogether, eliminate any form of federal subsidies for health stuff, and people just pay for it themselves. Create some competition in the health industry. I got a couple more minutes here. No, not interesting. I might be done. I think I'm done. I'm out of stories. So you guys in the chat, what do you want to talk about for like 4 minutes, 3 minutes? We could all move into John's secure compound and be his slaves. See, I do believe in slavery. Well, I do believe in slavery. Just kidding. I don't. Media Matters is going to quote that, or New York Times is going to write another hit piece on me. I don't have slaves, nor do I have a compound yet. Yet on the compound, not on the slaves. I believe in compensating people for their work. I'm a big believer in that. I usually do commission-based stuff, like here at Badlands. Like, you get a percentage of what Badlands makes. Like, you get what you generate. Eat what you earn. So I wouldn't have a slave. I would pay them something. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'll call them a slave if they want to be called a slave. Like, if that's the title they choose for their position, that's how much freedom they have, that they can choose to be called a slave. That'll be the title of their position at Badlands. Ash 1776. There's an event in North Dakota. What? Where's the schedule? Put the link in here. Freedom 250 schedule is out. Had a friend from Candid, North Dakota. He wound up a bigwig at an island resort, was found dead in his beach house. That's interesting. Why do we pay for rants, especially the pithy comments? Because if you pay for rants because you want to support the show. If you guys only want me to read rants, I will. But then some shows, I don't get many of them. So what am I supposed to do? Rocky Top Apologist, I ranted last night after you left the DPH. When is Badlands going to sponsor a college football bowl game? The Badlands Tallow Bowl. It'd be awesome. Yeah, maybe someday we'll get there. We're quite a ways away from, we can barely sponsor Badlands, let alone an entire college football bowl. Dota Do 85 for $10. Lobster is overrated. Sounds like it comes from a guy who still eats at Red Lobster. I mean, I live in North Dakota, so I don't get a lot of fresh lobster here. You know? So me saying it's overrated, like, what's all the hype about? You get it. You guys probably don't get, my steaks, my ribeye steaks are probably better than yours from real cows. You coasters. Dota Do 85. 1, go to Boston. 2, look up James Hook Co. And 3, expand your world. I'll think about it. I don't know if I want to go to Boston again. When we had our Plymouth Gart up that way, the traffic alone, like, we didn't even start the conference yet. I got off the plane and it took me like 3 hours to go hardly anywhere, like 20 miles. I don't know how far away distance-wise it was from Boston was from Plymouth. 30 miles something. It took like 3 hours to get there. No, never again. Never again. We'll go somewhere else in the area, but I cannot handle the traffic. I hate traffic in big cities. 1 gal now for $50. Thank you so much. Says Happy New Year, John. Happy New Year to you guys too. It was a good year last year, and this is gonna be a good year too, I think. As long as you temper your expectations. Data 12. Kennedy on December 19, 2025 announced that trans for kids is junk science, malpractice, and abuse of children. He is the greatest Kennedy ever. Ooh, that's a big statement. It's a big statement. A lot of Kennedys. Well, guys, I do appreciate you tuning in here on New Year's. You know, go take some time off the internet. Spend some time with your family and friends. I don't know who else is airing on Badlands for us today. Let me check. If you're new to the channel, by the way, give us a follow. Give us a like. I do the show every day at 1 p.m. Eastern, every weekday. The Choice is doing a special event here. When is that? Oh, that already went live. So check that out. But I will look at the link. Thank you, Ash. And I don't know, man. You guys chose a good show to feature me, because by far the best show I've done this year. Hands down the best show I've done this year. So anyway, thanks everybody. Hit the thumbs up. I will see you. Is tomorrow Friday? Tomorrow's a Friday. I will see you tomorrow right here on the Daily Herald.
Let's get started.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's real good.
Why they stopping me?